My name is Eric. I'm the brand manager at Winking Entertainment, and we have our game Unearthing Mars coming out on the PSVR platform next week on March 7th.
Eric, talk about what this game's all about.
Okay, it's a PSVR game. It's our first, and it's a 2-hour experience with 10 stages. Each stage has a different gameplay mechanic. You might be shooting something, you might be solving a puzzle, or driving a Mars rover on the surface of Mars.
So, what was it like working with Sony, and what did they supply you in terms of tech and support to help make this game a reality?
They were really supportive. 2 years ago, we started contemplating, making a VR game, and they gave us the test kits. They were really supportive of how to, make a PSVR game. And since we're putting this game out globally, we were in contact with each area, SIEA, SIEE, and they were all really supportive.
This game is also coming out on other platforms as well.
Yes, it's a timed exclusive for Sony, but we are planning to release a Vive and an Oculus version. The release dates are to be decided, though, at the moment.
So can you talk about specifically maybe one or two stages and how the gameplay works in those stages?
Sure. You actually played the game previously before. We have a puzzle stage, which is kind of like a Tomb Raider puzzle-solving stage. As you are part of a space expedition team, you'll be driving a Mars rover around. You might be landing a spacecraft onto Mars. You might also be solving some sudden problems that happen to you as well along the way.
So talk about, you said it's a 2-hour experience. Now that may seem short to some people, but it's actually the perfect amount of time to spend in VR.
I think we're at the point where hardcore players want more in VR, and then some players are starting just to get used to the VR experience. So 2 hours, we realize it might be short to people, so we priced it at a $14.99 price point to kind of justify the length of the game.
Well, after what I just played, I think it's a really good stepping point to someone who's never played VR games.
Thank you. Because there's so many gameplay mechanics. It's really like a smorgasbord of different gameplay genres.
You utilize combat, utilize puzzles, utilize your hands to solve puzzles. I mean, you really kind of covered all your bases.
Thank you. Yeah, I think the production team, we actually split up into 3 groups when we were making these because there are so many different game mechanics.
So talk about, were there any limitations going from Oculus to PSVR?
I think the hardware is different, but since we're using Unreal 4, it was really a smooth transition doing the porting. And it's fun, I think, for the production team to be able to be exposed to different platforms. But basically, I think the game should be the same for all the platforms.
So talk about the story in the game, because I noticed there's a lot of narration going on when I was solving one of the puzzles.
Okay. I mean, it's a Mars game, but it's less of a documentary and more of a science fiction story. You're part of a space expedition team. You're retrieving some fragments of a satellite that might hold the secrets to an ancient civilization.
So when does your game come out? What platforms will it be on?
Okay, it's coming out on the PSVR platform next week on March 7th. And for Vive and Oculus, it's still to be announced, but stay tuned and we will announce it soon.